Welcome to the Bombshell Business Podcast, where driven fempreneurs learn how to become more bold, brave, and unwaveringly confident. Turn your dreams into actionable, marketable, and profitable plans and make your business irresistible.
Welcome back to the Bombshell Business Podcast, where fempreneurs come to become more bold, brave, and unwaveringly confident in their business and their life. I'm your host, Amber Hurdle, and I am so excited to invite you to listen in to episode number 18 with my dear friend, client, and actually my own wellness coach, Miss Jennie Burton. This is the final episode in my season of gratitude. All throughout the month of November, I have invited people onto the Bombshell Business Podcast who have really served a big role in me finding my happy place in business. And while Jennie is a wellness coach, she helped me work through and kick off a very different season of health for my life, which has enabled me to be my best in my business. She personally actually helped me lose 10 pounds of body fat, and also was one of my very first one-on-one clients when I kicked off my business, and was an ideal client. And so I was really able to shape the type of person that I wanted to work with because of Jennie and other women like her. So Jennie Burton helps those who want to make that forever healthy lifestyle change. With her dedication, inspiration, and motivation, she educates her tribe on how they can realistically, keyword, X out the dieting, the don't know where to start, the I get so overwhelmed with all the controversial info, and be on the road to being healthy, and most importantly, being you. And if I could add to that, she'll also still let you enjoy your wine. So now that we've got that part out of the way, welcome, Jennie, to the show.
Thank you for having me, Amber. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Absolutely. So, we kibitzed a little bit. Actually, Jennie is right here in the studio, aka my office, sitting right next to me. So I love that. We are both stinking and left the gym at the same time and just came over to my office to rock this out. So we're going to break up the show today in two different areas. The first part is going to be for those of you who are listening who need some very applicable, actionable strategies to live a healthier lifestyle and still be the insanely busy female entrepreneur that you are. Then the second part, we are going to actually talk about her own journey and how she got to where she is as I'll let her tell you about all of her different certifications and qualifications, but she had to start somewhere. And I know many of my listeners are in the wellness or fitness industry. So I know there's other wellness coaches. There's also gym owners and Pilates instructors and all different types of people who might want to follow her path. So just to give you a little breakdown, but let's kick it off with you telling us just a little bit about yourself as a woman. I know you're a wife, mom.
I am, yes. I obviously am a nutritionist and a wellness coach. I have an 11-year-old son that I transport to and from school and to all his busy activities and everything else. I also take care of my husband's books. We have a concrete business, so I do that. I dibble in some real estate as well. So I'm just kind of here, there, everywhere, sit between seeing clients or setting up a new program or doing the books or picking up my son, taking him to art lessons, motocross, camping, whatever the day, it depends on what day you find me, what hat I'm wearing.
That's right.
Oh, and, I have to get the exercise in every day.
Yeah.
That's a must.
Oh, yeah.
That's a must.
Yeah, so for those of you who are also multi-passionate and feel guilty about it and thinking, I need to focus on, one thing, Jennie is a great example of how you could be successful in a lot of areas because you're interested in a lot of areas. And when she needs to buckle down and focus, I know she can do that. And so I just, as I'm talking to these different experts, I do like to point out those little side things too, because if what makes you happy is doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you're able to sustain your livelihood and your sanity, then freaking do it. Sorry, like, you only live once. And I know that's what all the cool kids say is, YOLO, but it's the truth. So just as we're moving into what tips she has for you and strategies, I don't want you to think, oh, well, she just, she sits at home all day and exercises for 4 hours a day.
No.
Yeah. And I can personally say that because I'm at the gym at the same time she is, and we work out about the same time every single day. So this is a very realistic woman that we're talking to today.
I appreciate that.
Tell us a little bit about we'll talk about your journey, but just before you even get into these suggestions, tell us about your certifications and what you had to go through to get those certifications.
Well, I am, my recent one is I'm Nutritious Life certified through Carrie Glassman, and you can look her up. She's a registered dietitian. I really enjoyed her program, and not only after you finish the program, but I am put in a group with all these other RNs, registered nutritionists, not RNs as in nurses, actually, but there are some nurses in there, some registered dietitians, people that own gyms. I mean, it's just a whole community, a great tribe of fitness and wellness people. And so we bounce things off each other all the time, which is great. Mm-hmm. It's like a huge mastermind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it is. So, and then when she has key speakers, new information that comes out, she shares it with you. So once you complete the course, you still continue to get education. So I really like that about her program. But my first one was, I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I got that through AFP. I think that's right.
We'll put the link in the show notes.
Okay. Anyway, so that was my first certification. And then I just, I live it. I've done it for years. My husband is gluten intolerant. He has RA, which is rheumatoid arthritis, if you're not familiar with RA. So we, not only do I have to take care of myself, but I try to take care of him. And then we had my son, and when I had my son, that's really what started me on, my health and wellness journey, to make sure that I was feeding him and giving him the best nutrition that I possibly could. And so that just led into other areas. And then all my husband's troubles came down the line. And so that just made me dig deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's no longer just about you.
Then I found you, and Amber, I like to tell people, she didn't push me. She kind of shoved me into doing my first group coaching, which was a huge success. I think everybody lost an average of 10 pounds.
At least, yeah.
Over 6 weeks. So that was great. That was a great experience. And, what I was doing worked, and I absolutely loved it. And I still love it today. I love doing individual clients, group. I have my 21-day detox that I came up with, which is strictly food, by the way. No supplements, nothing else to buy. And people have had huge success with that. And it's just great. It's just great to watch people make, even if it's a little lifestyle change, to a huge lifestyle change. Whatever that may be for someone, it's just great knowing that you help them achieve that.
Absolutely. So we'll dig in a little bit more to that little shoving incident that we had when she launched, but that sounds so terrible. But I just wanted everybody to hear her qualifications and her big why behind everything, because there's a lot of people out there giving advice, and there's a lot of people who claim to be experts, and they really don't have anything to back it up. So that's something that's a high value of mine, and I just want you all bombshells to know that when I'm bringing this person on, it's because she's legit, and you should listen to all this advice that we're about to dive into. So, Jennie, you know that a bombshell, because you are one.
Well, thank you.
A bombshell is a woman who is bold, brave, and unwaveringly confident in her business and her life. And that might not be every moment of every single day, but we tend to be the type A females. We are very driven. We have a lot going on, as you mentioned, in your life. We're usually wearing many, many hats, and it's not just about, we focus on our business. Usually we're moms and sisters and friends and wives or girlfriends or volunteers. We're usually serving on a board or involved in our communities. So there's just, our lives are full. And so I want you to share with that kind of woman who's like, I don't even know if I'm coming or going. How can I fit one more thing into my life? What 3 things and why should these, and I shouldn't say should. I'm shooting on you. That's a bad thing. What 3 things could they implement into their everyday life? Very actionable, realistic things in order to start turning the tide from I'm feeling sluggish, I'm not taking great care of myself, to living a healthier lifestyle. Something, three actionable things that they can do every day.
Okay, so 3 things that everyone can do. Everyone. I think one of the first things you can do, and I work on this with my clients. A lot of people don't get enough water in, and if you don't make any other change in your diet, water is number 1. So as soon as you get up in the morning, if you will start your day off with a glass of water, not only are you starting your day off with a glass of water and getting some water in, but you are starting your day off in a healthy way. And a lot of times when we start our day off in a healthy way, that just opens the door to wanting to continue to do good the rest of the day. So that's one thing that I think is good to start with.
What's the why behind it? Like, why does it matter that I have water in my body? Like, what does that do for me in my day?
What does it do? Oh my gosh. It will increase your energy. You will just feel better. And, a lot of times people say, well, I just don't like water. I just can't get it down. Well, it's like anything else. You have to start drinking it, and then your body starts craving that water, just like anything else. You eat too much sugar, what happens? Your body craves sugar. And if you'll start eating anything, greens, whatever, you will find that you start craving that, because that's what your body gets used to. But you will have more energy. It will flush you out more. It's just, our body is made up of mainly water. So therefore, we've got to feed water. I mean, we just have to have water. What do animals drink?
Right.
Water. That's all they live off of.
They're not drinking Starbucks pumpkin lattes.
No, you don't see them going through the drive-thru. Hello, can I get it?
Well, and I'll just say it out loud, I'm vain. So when I can tell in my skin first.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Energy for sure. But you could write that off to like, oh, well, maybe I just haven't been sleeping real well. But when I look in the mirror and especially the magnified side, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to get more water in on a daily. And when you say flush out too, and I know I have so many day spas and estheticians and whatnot, so they're being preach, they're riding in their cars. But the flush out person, the more water I drink, the less bloated I look. And so, it's getting to be holiday party season. We got to squeeze into these little dresses, and you can choose Spanx or you can drink more water, right?
Absolutely.
I need you to remind me of that, because we're sitting at my desk and there are 3 bottles of water and a can of LaCroix sparkling water around us. And so I know I'm trying really hard. Okay, what else? So definitely water.
Yes, definitely water. The other thing is, and I drill this into people's head, but just be prepared. You're busy, right? So if you don't have something easy to grab, something healthy, then what are you going to grab for? You're either going to go through a drive-through, or you're going to pick something crappy out of a convenience store that you pull through, or you're not going to eat, which is just as bad. So, have easy, healthy snacks ready to go, ready to grab. And hey, if you take your lunch, or if you're out to where you have, you eat lunch out or whatever, have you a cooler? Have you a cooler if you know you're not going to go out to eat? If you're the kind that typically go through a drive-through or call in something to go pick up, have you a cooler. When you fix dinner the night before or 2 nights before, fix some extra. Plan that you're going to have that for lunch one day. So have that in the back of your mind or with you at all times. I typically have a little cooler that I carry around with me. But yeah, just always have something easy and healthy that's, easy to grab. Some almonds, fruit. I mean, you can, bananas, apples, whatever. Easy to grab, go, and then you have it, and then your energy level stays up. You don't feel bad. You're not grabbing the bad stuff, and it'll just help you stay on track, especially if you started off the day with that water.
Yeah, absolutely. So what if I am, I'm having a bad day, I'm making a deposit at the bank, one of my employees is just being super high maintenance, and I'm hungry, and so I'm looking in that cooler, and then I'm also looking at like a fast food place, and I'm stressed out. What can I put in that cooler that maybe might not be an apple that's going to keep me from going through that drive-through?
What's something else you could put in there?
Yeah, because I know and I'm the same way. Like, my body craves healthy foods, but I know so many people are like, yeah, but that's just not what I feel like. Like, I really just want chocolate, So like, what's something that they could keep on hand for those moments where it's like an apple just is not going to cut it?
A good one is like a homemade trail mix. And that really can crave a sweet tooth. And it's easy to make, and it's cheaper than buying the already made trail mix. Throw you whatever nuts or seeds that you like, throw it in there. Me personally, I love pumpkin seeds. So I put pumpkin seeds, usually a handful of almonds. I do like peanuts. I usually throw in a few peanuts, cashews, and then I throw in a few raisins. And try to get organic if you can, and that's a whole nother podcast. But anyway, raisins and coconut, which is another healthy fat. You can get just raw coconut. Throw you in some coconut, and then for some chocolate, you can throw in either some actual dark chocolate if you just have to have that dark chocolate to just give that a little bit of sweetness. Or I prefer cacao nibs, which is it's not as sweet, but it still can crave that.
Yeah.
And especially if you're getting that sweetness from the raisins. Yeah. So that's a good one.
And maybe that's a step down too. Like, start with your dark chocolate bits, and then once you are on, like, that can be a next step.
Absolutely.
Transition.
Yes.
And then I'm going to play devil's advocate here, because then people will say, oh, but aren't nuts and isn't that fattening? So
absolutely, it is. Yes, it is fat, but it is a healthy fat, and we need healthy fat. If you don't get any fat in your diet, then first of all, if you're trying to lose weight, it's not going to happen. Our body needs fat. Then if you're eating too much of the bad fat, along with some of the healthy fat, then that's not good either.
Right.
You just have to kind of find that balance. But yes, our bodies need fat. It's just the right kinds of fats in your nuts, and your salmon, and your coconut, and your coconut oils, your olive oils, all that good jazz.
All right. Okay. So far, bombshells, we want you drinking water.
Yes.
So that you have a healthy system that's being lubricated, and all of your organs are being served, and all that good stuff, and you won't be bloaty, and you'll have great skin, and be setting on a positive note as soon as you wake up. If you start with that first healthy habit, then Jenny's next suggestion is to prep. So whether that's meal prepping for the nights that are going to be super busy, or planning to cook a little extra so that you have something for your lunch the next day, or getting ready-made snacks and having a cooler in your car, which is totally something that I picked up from Jenny. I used to just kind of keep things like in the console, and then they'd be like melty and awful, or whatever, and so keeping that cooler is definitely something that's helped me as I've been busy on the go. What's the third thing that a busy female entrepreneur that has all kinds of things going on, what else could she do each day that's easy to implement and will make a big difference?
third thing, I think that I do, and I do this with some of my clients, is at the end of the day, so many times us busy women are just have been so overwhelmed and we're wore down, and instead of turning to, oh, what happened good today, we beat ourselves up with, oh, I should have done this, or I didn't get that done, or oh my gosh, I ate that freaking piece of cake. Why did I do that? You know, we tend to beat ourselves up way more than we give ourselves credit for.
Amen.
So at the end of the day, if you would just start a gratitude journal, even if it's just one thing, you can always come up with one thing that you can be grateful for at the end of the day. And then, you know, go back. And if you're having a really, really hard day, one thing I also like about having a gratitude journal is you can go back and read the previous days. You know, if you've just had a really, really bad day. So that's just one thing that you can do. And then before you lay your head down, you can go to sleep on a good note instead of a negative note.
Yeah, absolutely. And recognize, I know this is, I'm so type A and I'm a perfectionist. And sometimes Jenny has to tell me, like, why are you overthinking this? Like, why are you overanalyzing this? Like, you did well. Like, this was for me. And I joke, but Jennie Burton, let me tell you, Jenny Big Well drinks her wine. And so
yes, I do.
Her level of being realistic is what really built that trust with me. And so when I did start working with you because you were working with me. And so I just jumped in there. And I'm a former certified personal trainer. My mom's a chef. Like, I know a lot about food as it is, without getting too much into my physical issues. I have some pretty serious digestive issues. I have some blood sugar issues. And what Jenny really did was help me look at me, not what every article on the internet said, not what all the standard advice is. Jenny helped me look at me as my own little microcosm. What works for Amber won't work for somebody else. And I know that intellectually, but Jenny dug in. And I'm saying that because one of the things that did really help me is counting my wins. And I do this all the time in my business, but I wasn't doing it with my own, fitness journey. So, and I have to add to this too, because I always like to be real. People are constantly, oh, Amber, you have it all together and, whatever. One of the biggest reasons why I put such a high priority on my nutrition, and I love that Jenny focuses so much on whole foods and not a lot of supplements and not a lot of this crazy, like actually using food that grew from the earth or came from a natural source, whole foods. Because if I can work out all day long, and that's helpful, my endorphins need that. I always tell people I hit the gym so I don't hit you. It's a very safer world if I go to the gym first. That helps me get out like that energy. But if I don't eat very well, if I am drinking too much, if I'm, maybe getting too much sugar, which I don't typically do, but, in celebratory seasons or whatever, sometimes that happens. My anxiety is unbearable. Mm-hmm. And that's a big reason for me, finding that big why, finding your personal reason why. It's a big reason for me to treat my body well so that it can function, and so that mentally, with all the God-given ability to take on a lot and plan a lot and facilitate and do those are skills that I have, but it's also a Achilles heel, because then I can take all of those and overthink things and have to have a plan for everything. And having good nutrition helps calm the storm, I guess, if you will.
Yes.
So that's a big thing that Jenny helped me realize. And I guess, kind of just segueing into what's realistic. Like, how do people find for their bodies, for their lifestyle? I have lots of celebrations. everybody has a different lifestyle. Some of you all go out and you have 3 networking events to go to every single week. Other of you have, 4 kids and all of them have 2 extracurricular activities. So you might be at a ball field or, how do people find a way to journey on a healthy lifestyle and still get to live and not feel deprived?
Well, you have to, I tell my clients when I start working with someone, I teach them what to eat, what not to eat, and why. And so we not only, people don't come to me and I give them a meal plan and then that's it. We learn together, or I teach them, and together they learn that, okay, so that's not good for me, but why is that not good for me? Mm-hmm. So we learn that way when they go to these parties or or they're out to dinner or whatever, they know the better choices to make, because typically there are better choices over others. Mm-hmm. And hey, if they decide that they really want that piece of cake or they want that chicken smothered with cheese, they know that that's not healthy for them, mm-hmm. but they want it. So, okay, so tonight we're going to eat that, mm-hmm. Because I want that, and that is totally fine. But we can't do that tomorrow night and Thursday night and Saturday night, because that's when things aren't balanced. So, you have to find what your vices and which one, what options are better than the others. Kind of like, eat this and not that, mm-hmm. type of deal. Mm-hmm. That makes sense? Yeah. And like Amber has said, and if you start following me, or if you follow me now or whatever, you will know, I really try to be an open book. I am not perfect in any stretch of the means. Don't want to be. But my vice is my wine and or alcoholic beverages. I don't have a problem with pizza or chips or stuff like that, but that's my vice. Now occasionally, yes, you'll find me eating my child's whole grain goldfish. Mm-hmm. You will find me doing that occasionally. The holidays are coming up. I love the holidays. I bake at the holidays. Yeah. I try to make things a little bit healthier, but does Jennie indulge in them occasionally? Abso-freaking-lutely. That's part of the holidays for me. And as we all sit around the table and the parties, what do we sit around? We sit around food. Yeah. Everything is centered around food, especially from now until the first of the year. And so, when if you're going to a party and you're taking something to eat, one thing I like to tell people is, hey, take something healthy that you will eat. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, you get sent back home with the leftovers. So that's kind of like a win-win. Yeah. So you're going to take something that you know that you like, that you're going to eat. And then if whatever's left over, if it comes home, it's coming back home with you. And like I tell people too, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. Yeah. So why not fix something that you enjoy, that's healthy, and then with the leftovers, you have healthy leftovers.
Yeah, and the other thing, if you follow Jennie, she posts recipes and things like that, and I have some that are like on the side of my refrigerator. Again, my mom's a chef. I love food. I'm a total foodie. I'm not a sweets person. Like, I would just for dessert, can I have more prime rib? That'd be great. I love fat. So I love rich, indulgent things. I know that shocks everybody who's listening because I'm such, luxury is my favorite word. But the thing about her recipes is you don't miss the junk. And so, like,
they're easy.
And they're easy because we're busy.
They're easy. Jennie doesn't. I don't have time for 20 ingredient recipes.
Right. But one in particular, your buffalo chicken dip, which is perfect for like football season.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. I could go on and on, but I'm just telling you, if you realistically want to be healthy and still enjoy your life and not feel like you're on a diet, because we don't use that word.
Right.
Then you absolutely need to dig into her website. But for those who are listening who are in the fitness or wellness industry, and then for all of you, because this is really a story of overcoming fear. So it really doesn't matter what industry that you're in. I just feel like this is an important story to share because Jennie's come so far on on her own entrepreneurial journey, and I think you all will gain a lot. So I'm going to just kind of fast forward to a moment, and I'm going to let her take it from there. But Jennie came to one of my very first live events, and it was an all-day business boot camp. And then she came to my office for a one-on-one, and which I love if somebody's in the greater Nashville area to be able to have them actually in my office. That makes me so happy. But she came in and was very uncertain. She said she was afraid of making the wrong decision. I started asking questions like any good coach would do.
Yes. Started
digging a little bit, and then I gave her a challenge and told her she could do it at my office because I had
space.
I had the space to do it. So that wasn't that removed that excuse. She didn't have to find like a church to do it.
Well, no, then I said, well, I don't know. I don't know how to do Google Drive. I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
So Amber had to show me literally how to do that. I had to bring my computer. You and Jeff, both her husband, hooked it up to the TV.
Yep.
And yes. So you not only help. Yeah. Anyway.
So let's. The thing that I think that holds most people back is they're not sure if their business idea is a good business idea. And there's no way to tell if your business idea is a good business idea unless you create an offer and see if people buy it and see how that process works, if it's worth your time, if you feel energetically connected to it, if those type of people are the type of people that you want to work with. And then you have all of this data. So I basically said, well, why don't you do a group challenge? Everybody can, pay her where she's getting paid to do this, basically test group. It would be a beta group. And then everybody also had to prepay. We had an incentive for them because, I'm a spa brat. And so I suggested that everybody prepays for a spa day. And if they hit their goal, which was a realistic goal, then they got to participate in the spa day where we all went together. And if they didn't, then they're just out of luck and they lose their money. So there was a serious carrot at the end of this journey.
Yes.
And nobody wanted to miss out on the spa day. So not only were they in it, but they had a reason to keep coming, which I felt like was super important for somebody who is in an industry where people give up. And so tell me about, how did you feel when I was like, I think you should do this?
How did I feel? I was like, what? I kind of wasn't, I was given the option. Yes, I could have said, no, I'm not doing that. But I didn't. I said, okay, I will do it. And one reason not only is because I went to Amber for a coach, but she's also my friend, and I didn't want to let you down, right? So we did it together, really. And like I touched on a few minutes ago, it was a great success. Everybody lost an average of 10 pounds, and it was great. And that started off my journey, and it very much validated what I needed to be doing, what my calling was.
Well, so tell me about, how did you choose the content that you shared? Because you put together, first of all, y'all, she put together PowerPoint presentations, which was not her jam. Yes. And she did it, and they were great. And you had video clips that you shared. You facilitated, you taught, you had a Facebook group. You were so far out of your comfort zone. How did you... What did it take for you to figure out, okay, this is what I'm going to teach. This is what I'm going to do each week. This is how I'm going to handle people outside of the actual weekly live groups. That was a lot to put together. You could say, oh, we did it together. No, people. She did all the heavy lifting. I just kicked her in the pants and showed her how to do a couple things, technically. So you did a lot to pull that off.
Well, And at the time, I wasn't certified in anything yet.
But why would you get a certification if you didn't even know that's what you really wanted to do, or if it would work?
That's true. That's true. Honestly, did what I was so passionate about. What my heart is in. What I felt like would motivate people and what I could teach people. I just tried to break sections down, and I hate sugar. Just yesterday, actually, talking about sugar, I spoke to a group of kids at one of our local schools and taught them how to be sugar detectives, and that was so fun.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, it was so fun. So fun. Anyway, that was a sidetrack there. But, I broke things down into the important nutrition things that I feel like people need to know about. We've hit on the fats already. We did a segment on fats. I shared my story, actually, for the first time, put my picture of me when I was at my heaviest in a bathing suit at age 22. And I must say I look better today than I did at age 22, and I'm 41.
Yeah.
All from nutrition.
And that took a lot of vulnerability to share that so that people could find a way to connect with you in a real way.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, but yeah, I just went with my gut and my heart and wanted to teach what I had learned, and it worked.
I want to share one thing, and then I've got a follow-up question. But one of the thing that we did to celebrate losing that 10 pounds, my offices at that time, well, they still are upstairs, but when we were in that office space, there were some pretty steep stairs to get upstairs. So she brought a 10-pound dumbbell because we all lost at least 10 pounds. Some people lost maybe 12 or 15, but the majority of all of us lost about 10 pounds over 60 days.
Right.
Which is a lot. It really is. That's a significant amount. And we did it all naturally. We weren't doing supplements or anything. We just changed our food and maybe bumped up our exercise a little bit. But nobody was slaving at the gym either. So I just wanted to clarify all that.
Some people were not even going to the gym.
I know.
Some people were not even.
I know. I'm like, you suck. Actually, I say that. I don't care. I will always go to the gym. I just love it. So anyways, so she had us take that 10-pound weight and hold it up over our head and run down and back up the stairs with that 10 pounds that we had been carrying around before that we had gotten rid of. And let me tell you, when you think about that, about carrying around a 10 pound, 20 pound, 30 pound, 50 pound, 100 pound backpack every day, and then it's gone, and then you realize what you were doing, that was a very powerful moment that I think kept people on continuing even after they finished that program. And it's those type of things that Jennie brought to the table because she is so passionate about it that makes her different. It's just like me. Why are you listening to me? There's 8 gajillion podcasts out there. There's all kinds of coaches. What makes you different? And I think you discovered a lot of that in like this beta group. What did you learn about the type of individual that you like to work with when you had 15 people in the room, all different? And, when you first start a business, you kind of have to cast a wide net, and your ideal customer almost identifies himself because it's a dance. There's no way that you can be like, well, this is who I want to work with, and then they just magically come to you.
Right.
You have to just start somewhere and then whittle it down. So what did you learn in that process?
Well, I learned that, you can teach almost everybody, you can teach them something. But the ones that take action are great. And I do want to hit on that with you because you're giving me so much praise. But you took action. And if you don't take action, then, I can talk to you and give you suggestions and have you do things till I'm blue in the face. But if you don't actually implement them, then it's not, your health and wellness is not going to change.
Right.
But getting back to the question of, what did I discover? I really enjoy working with, a wide variety, but my niche and my tribe are busy women that they say they don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
And by God, you do.
Yeah.
You do. You just have to make that mindset, or set that mindset and make your mind up that, hey, and majority of the time it's women that have discovered that, hey, I want to be around for my children. I know I'm not feeding my body right. I know I'm not, there's more things I can do better. Can you help me? Yes, I can.
So it's so much more than I want to be thin or I want to lose weight for my high school reunion. Your ideal clients have such a bigger why of wellness and health and genuine interest in their body functioning.
When people come to me, when people come to me, and I've turned, a couple of people, I've said, you know what, I don't think I'm who you need. Mm-hmm. Because, if somebody's just wanting that quick fix, I'm not your gal. Yeah. It's the total realistic lifestyle change. How can, what changes can we make? What small changes can you make today or tomorrow that you can build on, and then you continue to build on those small changes? You're not going to wake up a week from now and be who you truly want to be, fitness and nutrition wise.
And if you figured out a way to, well, you wouldn't be that, but if you found a quick fix way next year, you would be right back where you started from, because it's not sustainable.
That's why there's so many diets out there, and so many different supplements and cleanses and this and that. And how many? I mean, if they worked, everybody would be doing it, right? For one, what works is a healthy lifestyle. Yeah. And being consistent, and and knowing that, you know what, I'm going to fall off the wagon. That's okay. We all do. It's that you have the knowledge and the want to and the drive to get back on that wagon and continue on.
Yeah. It's just like business, progress, not perfection.
Absolutely.
Just keep moving forward. And if you fall down, brush yourself off. Get back up. You always say, I got back from New Orleans, which, by the way, I still lost a pound somehow. I don't know how that happened. I was like, I think drinking alcohol puts on muscle mass. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. But I got back, and what did you say? We were at the gym, and you said, just get back on track.
That's right.
Get back on track. Don't let this New Orleans trip drag into 3 weeks from now.
That's right. Because I think I got a few texts during that New Orleans trip with pictures. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
And I tell my clients, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go to New Orleans and not enjoy the abundance of amazing food. Now, I made better choices. I got fish more often. And as a not dessert person, I still got dessert one night. Obviously, alcohol is a little bit hard to avoid in New Orleans as well. But even that, I had a plan of alternating with sparkling water, or if we went down to the lounge, instead of having a cocktail to start with there, I had hot tea. So there was things like that. But at the end of the day, that is so far out of my out of my normal wheelhouse that. But Jennie wasn't like, oh, you weren't good, or, oh, you sent me that text and you better. It was like, okay, great. I'm glad you had a good time. Get back.
But we got to get back on track.
Get back on track. Okay. Yep. So that's, and I think that's really what I want to hammer home. If you are somebody who is currently looking to work with somebody who's going to support you and not make you feel bad about your decisions, but it's still going to push you and be real. And I think that's one reason why we get along so well, is because we're both straight shooters and we're not going to sugarcoat anything. This is just, it is what it is. But it comes from a place of love. And because we want to see people be successful, we're going to be the voice in your head that tells you the truth, That's right. So if you want to work with Jennie, or even if you just want to maybe explore more of what she has to offer, the great thing about being online and having a website and all that kind of stuff is you can get a lot of free advice. And
Absolutely.
Then if you feel a connection, then you can make that decision to, perhaps reach out and see about working with somebody. But Jennie has, first of all, I read her newsletter. I send so many newsletters to unroll.me, which is a tool and resource that I've shared with a lot of people, maybe on the podcast. Jennie's lands in my inbox, and I read it the minute I see it. I open it up to make sure that I don't miss it, because it's encouraging. It talks about her real life, and I see her 5 days a week. So it's not like I'm not getting enough Jennie Burton in my life. But her style is, I just enjoy them. And there's usually something in there that I find that I can add to my life, and it's of great value. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So you can find her at JennieBeWell.com. And that's Jennie, Jennie with a I-E, Jennie, B as in boy, or as in bombshell.
There you go.
There you go. JennieBeWell.com. All of her social media links we'll put in the show notes as well. And I'm also going to link to a free resource that she has to offer you, and it is 1 week's worth of meal plans. So if you just want to get off to a great start, maybe when you're listening to this, he's come out on Tuesdays, download that, make your grocery list, and then that weekend for the next week, you're fully prepared, as Jennie mentioned, as step number 2 to a daily healthy habit you can apply. And then I'll also, for those of you who are in the wellness industry or might want to be traveling down the same entrepreneurial journey that Jennie has, we'll put in the show notes the different certification programs that you've participated in too, so that they can access those and consider them for themselves. So thank you for being on the show, Jennie. I love you.
Thank you, Amber.
So
I love
much.
you.
And thanks for being there for me on my journey and for being an awesome bombshell.
Thank you. No, thank you for offering everything that you do and doing everything that you do. You are awesome. You took action. I took action.
Bam!
I'll take action.
See, this is how it all works, ladies.
That's right.
So you can find this episode if you're traveling down the road. You can go to amberhurdle.com/episodes with an S. Look for episode number 18. And you can find everything that we've talked about. And this month, I have been getting these episodes transcribed, so you can read it, or you can find certain things that through just looking through the show notes as well, or listen to it and share this episode. I think you really had a lot of great tips in here, so please share this episode with your girlfriends, or even your guy friends that you think could improve, especially going into the new year.
That's right.
Or that season of promises that we make ourselves. Share this with at least 3 people. That's my challenge for you. Share this with 3 people that want to have a healthier lifestyle, and give them this tool to just get going in the day, for the day, and then perhaps they can take it from there and continue to grow. But I appreciate you listening in. I hope you have a fantastic day. Do not forget, please, to go over to iTunes and give a rating and review. That helps me reach more people, and it helps people see like, oh, this is worth my time. I should listen to this, because women like you are sharing what it does for you and your business and your life. And I love you, and I appreciate you very much. And I will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Bombshell Business Podcast. Visit amberhurdle.com for more resources, and be sure to tune in again. Cheers to you, Bombshell.